Hey guys, so let's talk about one of the many reasons why we prep.
Well, we have a little bit of a problem today. This whole past week it has been very, very cold here, at least cold for this particular area. It's been 20s during the day and into the teens at night. Last night it actually got down to 10 degrees. Over the last couple days it hasn't been too much of a problem, just our hot water has been freezing and Jeremy's been going out with a heat gun and thawing it out. No big deal, but as of today we have no water. Our cold water pipes are now frozen. Last night we were able to turn on the water for a little bit and slush was coming out, and today we have no water at all.
So yeah, I've been draining the whole system at night, running all the water dry, shutting the pump off just so that wouldn't happen, but it's frozen somewhere and not sure where, so I guess we just got to wait for it to thaw out.
For those of you guys that are new to the channel, all of our water comes from a spring which is down over the hill. It's pumped up here to the house. The pump basically runs on demand as we need it. We need to have the generator on to pump the water up here. Any water that comes up here needs to be filtered through this Berkey filter. Let me show you the Berkey filter. We are out of water. That's a problem. So going into this week, we knew that we were going to be getting some really cold temperatures both during the day and at night. And so we took a little bit of preparation in case our pipes started freezing. And one of the things that we did is we filled up this 5-gallon bucket with water. Now we've been keeping this outside, so it is partially frozen right now. That's why we have it in here by the wood stove. But that is one of the ways that we kind of have a little bit of backup to our water supply. And the other way is in our shed. So this is our storage shed where we keep all of our canned goods and a lot of our dry goods as well. Take you in here. Underneath these shelves in the back, we have about a 6-week supply of bottled water. This is one of the reasons why we store water. Now, what is keeping this water from freezing? And in particular, like our canned goods, what's keeping them from freezing? Well, we had no issues with frost up until this point because we have the R13 insulation on the walls that we put up. And during the day, the temperatures were up around the 50s. A couple of days I got up in the 70s. And then at night it would get to freezing. But with this past week, the temperatures have been freezing during the day and at night. We've been keeping this little shed above freezing by putting our hot coals in here every morning and every evening. And this is still putting off some heat. We put some coals from the wood stove in here, and we have this sitting on bricks. Guys, I do not recommend this as being the most fire safe way of keeping things warm. There are probably a couple other ways of doing it, but we are off grid here, and this is the best solution for us and the easiest for us. This is one of those things, don't do at home, but we're just sharing with you guys what we're doing. And this is working for us right now to keep this above freezing.
So yep, frozen pipes means, I don't know what it means because I'm not sure where it's frozen. So we're going to go down in the spring and see if that's frozen and see if the pressure tank's frozen and just see what we can see. So here we go. The spring is about 380 feet down the hill from the camp, so that's where we're going. Okay, this is the spring box. That's the pressure tank, and it drives it water up the hill. I have a feeling something is frozen. This thing is very, very heavy. Well, it's not frozen, and it's full up to the overflow pipe, which is this kind of white pipe here. And then down in there is the pump, which pumps it in here to the pressure tank over here. So that is not the problem. The spring is not frozen. Could be the pressure tank, could be any part of the line all the way up. I think probably it's actually the pipes underneath the trailer, and it's hard to tell. I haven't been under the trailer yet, but this is good news. This hasn't frozen, so we're putting this back together. That thing is super heavy. All right. Talk about being off grid. Oh, there's a pressure gauge. PSI. That says 80 PSI. Well, there's no real way to tell where it's frozen. So, I guess we're using backup water until everything thaws out. But I'm glad none of this is frozen. Seems to be pretty good. Just got frozen pipes. All right, going back.
So there is good news and bad news to all this. The bad news is that our pipes are frozen right now and we don't have running water. That means that we're going to have to be very limited on what we use for water. That means no doing laundry or anything like that. Probably have to use the outhouse and not use the toilet, but the good news is that we did get a 5-gallon bucket of water that we can use, and we do have the water in the shed. Because the spring is not frozen, we can always go down there and dip into that spring and get some water if we need it. We also have a creek on the property. It doesn't have a very high flow, but we could go down there and fill up a bucket and bring that up as well, if for some reason something happened to the spring. But right now that's good. But we're just going to be really frugal in how we use our water, and it's just all part of living off grid. So we'll keep you guys posted as to what happens and how this all turns out. If you guys are interested in more of the day-to-day that goes on, feel free to subscribe to our Instagram channel. It's a lot more challenging for us to post a video than it is for us to post a picture, so we are posting daily on Instagram with little stories as to what's going on. So feel free to follow along there if you guys are interested in more up-to-date things. But we will keep you posted on the water situation, and hopefully sometime next week all this will thaw out. We are calling for some 40-degree days, so we'll see if the weatherman's right. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.